Blankenship's got it teed up for Georgia. And as he's done most of the season, all but 2 of his kickoffs have not been returnable. As we check the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, we start with the quarterback, Jarrett Guarantano. He's had a tough early part of the season, much like a year ago. He's already been sacked 6 times. He got knocked around big time in the Florida game a week ago. The guys that will try to protect him and help him out. The rest of the offense looks like this. Marquez Callaway has been his #1 receiver, but he has only 14 catches. So the Vols work from their own 25. Ty Chandler in the backfield. The tight end with Anderson in motion. And on the first carry, much like a week ago, Georgia giving up chunks of yardage on the ground. A big run by Chandler as he got about 15.
Well, the interesting part about this Georgia defense, although Missouri ran for over 170 yards, in the first 3 games, they weren't really challenged with the running game. Missouri showed that they can run. That's been one of the question marks with Roquan Smith and Atkins, their nose tackle, gone. Could they stop the inside run?
He actually got 17 on that carry and a first down, and Guarantano throwing Brandon Johnson. And Johnson's brought down right at the line of scrimmage by J.R. Reed as we set the Georgia defense. J.R. Reed, who just made the tackle, had an interception in this game a year ago in a 41-0 win for Georgia up in Knoxville. Here's the rest of the guys that join him. He'll be playing against his cousin today, who's in the secondary for Tennessee. We'll talk about that when we talk about the Tennessee defense. 2 tight ends on 2nd and 10. Josh Palmer on the end around, broke 1 tackle. But the same guy that missed him the first time tracks him down anyway. DeAndre Walker helps out on the stop.
Well, there's a saying here that John Ledbetter, their defensive tackle, said, you have to earn the right to rush the passer around here. The fun starts when you stop the run. Let's see if they can do it. There he is right there, 13.
They've had only 3 sacks this year, but they have affected the quarterbacks through their 4-0 start. Guarantano, late heat coming on him. He completes the pass, but he's drilled. Chandler hit immediately as he caught the ball.
It was a blitz off the corner that time. It was just a 4-man rush. I think, was the ball tipped? It was not, but it just after, as you saw, the safety LeCount comes up and stops him short of the first down.
So it forces the first volunteer punt.
So really 1 successful play in the first series.
And that was the opening run. Terry Godwin back to return the punt of Joe Doyle. Flags are down at the snap. Godwin calls for the fair catch around the 12. We'll wait to see on the penalty marker.
I don't know if Tennessee was in a legal formation that time. I think it's on them.
False start, says John McDay, our referee. And they're going to make him do it again, I think.
Oh, that's interesting because that
illegal
was
formation, kicking team, 5 players in the backfield, 5-yard penalty. Replay 4th down.
You were right on the formation call.
Yeah, I didn't think they had enough guys in the backfield there. I think the left tackle in the formation was set up too deep, making him the 5th player in the backfield. An interesting call. I think this is a call. Miko Hardman, see right here, this guy's too deep, and that's the 5th player that they called in the backfield there.
So Doyle had a nice kick that forced a fair catch. We'll see this time.
Yeah, kind of a gamble here, though. This is definitely for the big punt return they're playing, because it wasn't a great punt, and they had the ball at the 10.
That time they got a little heat on the punter. Well, it was about a 2-yard difference. Yeah. Georgia will be on offense for the first time with Jake Fromm and company when we come back. Just one possession into the game with more on Tennessee. Jamie Erdahl. Jamie?
Brad, you mentioned those emotions Tennessee has been feeling. Frustration, one of them that bubbled up on the sideline last week when linebacker Cortez Sapp allegedly refused to go back in the game, leading head coach Jeremy Pruitt to ask him to leave the field and not return. Now, Pruitt told us that he felt the situation was resolved on Sunday. He talked to Sapp. Sapp addressed the team. He also sent out this tweet, parts of which read, "Never would I disrespect my team, coaches, family, or fans by not giving my all for Tennessee," adding, "I will continue to be fully committed and giving my all on for Tennessee on and off the field." Now, Pruitt told us yesterday, people make mistakes. He doesn't want this one mistake to ruin Cortez Sapp's career at Tennessee. He was frustrated by a lot of things, one of which was a nagging injury. Pruitt said he's had the healthiest week he's had so far this season.
All right, Jamie, thanks. We'll see when he comes into the game behind Darren Kirkland, who starts at that spot. This is Georgia's opening offensive set from their own 14-yard line. Play action. Fromm has to get rid of it, and he completes it. Riley Ridley, who got about 8 out of it. Big pressure on Jake Fromm from Alexis Johnson.
Well, Riley Ridley is taking up right where he left off in the second half. It's going to come right across on the bootleg. They took away the running back, or Miko Hardman, on the bootleg, and Fromm, just like the coaches love about him, just went through his progression, took the next guy. He never seems to get his heart rate up at all, does he, Jake Fromm?
He got leveled after he let go of that ball. If Clay Matthews was watching, he'd say that should be a penalty.
Yep.
2nd and 1. Elijah Holyfield into the secondary in the first down for Georgia. Out across the 35.
I think one of the main questions that Georgia wanted to look at in this game is, could their offensive line be a little more dominant? That was supposed to be one of the strengths of this football team. Running the ball between the tackles. They were not happy with it last week in the first half. They tried to run against Missouri. 6 possessions, just 2 field goals on offense.
And it's Holyfield again. Same results as he goes out for about 7 more. As we take a look at the Chick-fil-A starting lineups, and it all starts with Jake Fromm, the sophomore out of Warner Robins, Georgia. There's his impeccable numbers, almost 73% completion, which would shatter the Georgia school record if that keeps the pace. Here's the guys joining him, including Miko Hardman, who has a touchdown in every game this year so far. More on that offensive line. It's been reshuffled because of an injury to Ben Cleveland. So there's a freshman in there starting at right guard. But so far it hasn't mattered too much because Elijah Holyfield has picked up another first down, I think.
Well, Holyfield has been patient and kind of earned his way to go up against these guys.
I mentioned Nigel Warrior. He and J.R. Reed are cousins. Nigel Warrior, Dale Carter is his dad, former All-American at Tennessee, and J.R. Reed, Jake Reed, his dad, who played a long time in the NFL. So a unique situation for those two.
Godwin has been the most healthy he's been all year. He's back in the lineup out at wide receiver. Coach said he might be his best he's been all year.
There he is up on top of the screen as Fromm throws complete to DeAndre Swift out of the backfield. Oh, what a move. Swift down the sideline and then a stiff arm at the end. Wow. Did he put a foot in the ground and change directions on that one?
Well, Jonathan Kongbo, number 99, was once a defensive tackle, then a defensive end, and now he has to play in space. Right on the end right there. That's a tough matchup for Kongbo. One miss, and then a miss from the secondary that time, and you have a guy running down the field. Swift in the open field is more than Swift. He's dangerous.
He's 22 yards down to the 32 is where he is. And here he comes again. This time stood up at the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard. That's about it. Shy Tuttle was the first guy to meet him. Jake Fromm, watch the shotgun snap. He flips the ball almost every snap. I said to him yesterday, Jake, do you even know you do that? And he said, I really didn't until somebody pointed out after the championship game last year. It's just a habit. He said the quarterback coach is trying to change him, but he said we might have to wait till the season's over to get into that.
Not now. When I left the field, we had the lead, by the way, with flipping the ball.
2nd and 9 at the 31. Deep middle, just overshot Riley Ridley, who had a step back there in the secondary.
Well, there's no doubt that this offensive juggernaut starts with these wide receivers, and now the belief in their quarterback. Ridley's going to come out and go down for the deep ball this time. He's got double coverage, but guys love running routes against double coverage off. Not deep and short where you get jammed, but when they bracket you about 8 yards downfield, when you fake one, the other guy seems to freeze his feet. Good call against that double coverage right there for Tennessee.
Tennessee's been very good in their third down defense.
Third and long. Can they put some pressure?
From hit from behind, ball came loose, picked up by Isaac Nauta. Nauta, first down and more. He might take it. Touchdown. On the strangest of plays, 31 yards for the score.
Well, if you're Eric Nauta and you miss the block, you might as well pick the ball up, okay? He's right here. He's the one that gets beat to the outside. So he's watching it. Darrell Taylor gets the knockdown, and then Tennessee says, we've seen this before. Crazy plays. Last week there were crazy plays that went against us, and now this week.
Rodrigo Blankenship for the point after, right down the middle.
It's Austin Pope's fumble on the long pass play, and now that fumble going the other direction.
A 7-play Georgia drive covering 55 yards. Here's another look from another angle. Number 18, Isaac Nauta, said, oh, I'm going to take this and I'm going to run with it longer than I have all year long. 31 yards for a touchdown.
Yeah.
Our pylon cam shows you the last stride. Jake Fromm says, you just saved me, brother. 7-0 Georgia. Isaac Nauta with a touchdown to give Georgia a 7-0 lead. Watch your sports news and highlights straight without the noise. Stream CBS Sports HQ, the all-new 24/7 Sports News Network, available on your phone, computer, connected TV devices. CBS Sports HQ, sports for the true fans. Gary's on there after every one of our games on Saturday as well. Jake Fromm talking upstairs because that was a fumble 9 yards deep. It wasn't from the line of scrimmage, so instead of a 31-yard touchdown for Nauta, it's a 40-yard touchdown.
And the Tennessee players have to fight the instinct to feel sorry for themselves right now.
And again, out of the back of the end zone, out to the 25.
I think Eric Nauta thought he was going to get help from Swift, number 7. But the two linebackers and safety are both keying on Swift. He has to leave his chip block, turning number 19 loose to help on the blitz. You've got the perfect defense called. You're going to get a sack, probably a fumble, and you end up giving up a touchdown. To me, this reminds me of that 4th and 1 call that they had last week against Florida when it was still a ball game and Pope fumbles it out of the end zone. Right. Everything done right, it goes wrong.
Garantano throws it. Juwan Jennings. And he's sandwiched under after a gain out near the 30.
Remember, this is when Jeremy Pruitt, after going for an onside kick that didn't work, then decided to go for a 4th down call. They had just got a safety and a big play. This was going to get them back in the game, and now it's just more frustration.
2nd down and a long 5. Georgia coming with a blitz. Tennessee runs through it and gets close to the 1st down as Chandler is about a yard shy. Tennessee hoping to pick up a 3rd down here as putting the fullback Queen Blakely. You look at Nataz Patrick in the middle of that Georgia defense. London, the tailback. They're going to give it to the fullback, and I think he's got it. We'll wait and see.
And that was a changeup for this Tennessee team. Remember, the last week when they didn't make it on short down, and when they got the safety, they used Austin Pope in the fullback spot. Now they've moved London to the fullback spot. They hand it to him, try to quickly get to the line of scrimmage with the fullback, stopped again.
So on 4th and inches, the punting team comes out again.
It's not like they didn't try to change up. However, they did go left again. That's the 4th consecutive time they've tried to run to the left in short yardage. I think they're trying to go to Trey Smith.
Here's another penalty marker down on the punt, as it's a great kick, but again, they might have had the same issue as they did the first time they punted.
Well, that's going to hurt if it's against Tennessee. That's an unforced error that is really going to hurt them, because that ball's down to the 2-yard line. My first note on my storyline that I did not have a chance to get out is Tennessee can't lose to Tennessee here today.
Right. You got to make the other team beat you.
Absolutely.
5 men in the backfield. Kicking team. 5-yard penalty.
That's one of the things Jeremy Pruitt told us last night.
Right.
We have to beat the other team, not ourselves.
And you know, if Georgia beats you, you're in your first year of your program and you give your best, you do your best, you can live with that. When you make a mistake like this, the second one of the game, boy, that's tough. That's tough looking at your teammates. And, you know, those are the simplest things for a team to do, is line up in the correct formation. Jeremy's going, we did not have 5 guys in the backfield. I'll try to help them out. I think they have one person that's lined up too deep all the time.
Now keep in mind, Mecole Hardman's back now instead of Terry Godwin.
Yeah, now it's dangerous, right?
He can change a game on you in a hurry. Boy, I hope it didn't happen again. Another flag.
They called it again.
Hardman lets it go, and it goes all the way to the end zone.
I'm not sure that this official is correct this time, to tell you the truth. Tennessee is in an unbalanced. Yes, they're 5 guys again. They've got 5 guys again. 1, 2, 3, 4. I had to do 2 circles there.
That's all right.
And 5. Boy,
wouldn't want to be a special teams coach right now.
Someone does not have their assignment down, right? That's embarrassing. Now that's embarrassing to the head coach. That's when you're
illegal formation. Kicking team. 5 men in the backfield. The 5-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the kick, where it'll be first down.
3 of those in the first 8.5 minutes of the game. Not good at all. Our entire CBS family is mourning the loss of one of our longtime and talented videotape operators, David Zarkauer. Zark, as he was affectionately known, passed away earlier this week. We extend our sympathy and condolences to his wife Lisa and his sons Brendan and Alec. He's going to be missed.
Adam Zucker in New York with this Ford update. After nearly blowing a 35-10 lead, West Virginia's defense makes the big play. Keith Washington intercepts backup quarterback Jet Duffy of Texas Tech and goes right by him for the score. Mountaineers remain undefeated, 42-34, as we go back to Brad, Gary, Jamie, and Peyton.
Yeah, another guy that only needs one name around here involved in this game. Peyton Manning, here to cheer on his Volunteers. Spent some quality time with Peyton last night. So after the punting fiascos, Georgia at the 25-yard line with their second possession. DeAndre Swift stood up by Shy Tuttle. The nose tackle only got about a yard.
Brad, you mentioned the injury to Ben Cleveland. The running game a year ago really took off when Big 74 became more and more of a player in that offensive line. Now, Cade Mays, who played left tackle a week ago, has moved into that right guard spot. And Cade is from Knoxville Catholic, true freshman. Daddy played for Tennessee, big-time recruit.
Hardman in motion. They're going to zip it out to him off the play fake, and Mecole Hardman going to be about a yard shy, I think, of the first down, run out of bounds on the far side. Anytime number 4 touches the ball, it could be a touchdown. Well, it has been for 5 straight games dating back to the championship game last year.
Right, and it is a circle play for Jim Chaney, their offensive coordinator, to get Hardman the ball 6-8 times on short passes just like that. It really stresses the defense. It's really tough to take that short pass away from Georgia.
2 tight ends in there, Werner and Nauta, and it's Brian Herrien picking up the first down. Georgia continues to shuttle their backs. DeAndre Swift's considered the starter, but Elijah Holyfield actually has more yardage coming into this game. And then it's Harrion next in line. And after that, James Cook, a freshman.
Who's in there now?
Another guy that Jim Chaney said, I got to get in his hands because he's going to be really something special.
Yep.
Number 6 right there. First down at the 37. And that's Cook in motion. They're going to come out here to him. Pass was a little behind him. Ooh, he got leveled, but he got a good gain out of it. Hit by Darren Kirkland.
Well, Jim Chaney right now is in Jeremy Pruitt's head. He catches the perfect call against the slot blitz. They don't even have to throw hot. They had the play on. So you lose the numbers to the outside of that defense. Chaney at the bottom of your screen right there. You had 3 defenders out there. One of them blitzes, and you throw it, and you got 3 against 2 on the offense.
Jim, actually former offensive coordinator at Tennessee, and was an interim head coach at one point when Derek Dooley was relieved of his duties there. Jake Fromm, I don't know if that was an RPO, but something went kablooey. He faked the handoff to Holyfield and then got dropped for about a 3-yard loss.
You know, I do think it was, because I think Jeremiah Holloman, number 9, did not read it. He was going to throw the ball to Holloman, and Holloman came down into the hole to block, not running the pass route. I think hard to believe that Jake Fromm didn't have that read right.
Yep. He reads almost everything right.
Yep.
Swift back in the backfield for Georgia on a 3rd and 7.
They got him last time by bringing extra people. They do it again.
He got it. Oh, and Swift dropped it.
Oh, man. And he had a convoy.
He did. That might have not only been a first down, that could have been a touchdown.
Yeah, but I think Chaney, again, he had pressure before on the fumble. He anticipates pressure. He drops it off, and he had Gilliard and Kinley in front of him. That might have been 30, 40 yards before anybody had a chance to make a tackle.
Instead, punting situation for Georgia for the first time today. Jake Camarda, the freshman out of Norcross, Georgia, in to kick. Georgia had a great punter last year in Cameron Niziolek. Cam made a stop in the booth to say hello before the game. He says this freshman's going to be a dandy when he learns how to keep it in the field of play. He's had too many touchbacks this year. Now we got a flag down before the snap.
Play game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Well, if we have a penalty on every punt we have today, we might be here a while.
Yeah. Doesn't seem to hurt as bad when you're at the 40 to 35.
That's true.
Though.
Last week, Georgia had a season high in the penalty department, which drove Kirby crazy.
Oh, he went crazy.
He did.
He did go crazy.
He's fun to watch on the sideline if you've never seen him. Camarda, big kick, fair catch around the 16-yard line by Marquez Callaway. So that's where Tennessee will have it with 3:39 remaining in the first quarter. Georgia by a touchdown, and the start for Tennessee, Gary, looks a little familiar.
Yeah, it happened in the second quarter last week on a 3rd and 1 down. They select to take a field goal with 13:18 to go in the second quarter. That's followed up by an attempted onside kick. Should have been perfect. 4 guys there for Tennessee. Florida gets the football. They get a 3-and-out, does Tennessee, to get the punt, but it's down inside the 1. That leads next to a safety. They kick the ball back to Florida. Swain takes it on the first play for a touchdown. A chance to stay in the football game, but in 5 minutes of hell for Tennessee, they fumble it out of the end zone, and for all intents and purposes, in 5 minutes the game was over.
Yeah, they got the football back, only down a touchdown here, but they have made a lot of mistakes already in the opening 12 minutes. Georgia on a run blitz, and it's going to pay off. No gain for Ty Chandler. Richard LeCounte's the guy that came in early and kind of changed Chandler's direction.
Tennessee started off the game with 17-yard play. In their next 7 plays, they've got 16 yards.
Second down and 10. Garantano moves Chandler to the other side. Jarrett looking to throw, just got rid of it before he was hit. And it's going to be Chandler again. That's his first catch. They talk about how good his hands are, and I looked at the stats and I said, well, if he's got such great hands, why don't you use him as a receiver?
Well, this offensive line was under the microscope because of all the hits that Jarrett took a week ago. They weren't all on them. I mean, there were backs missing blocks, tight ends missing blocks. There was a lot of things that happened, but that time they gave Jarrett a lot of room in the pocket.
Yeah, they're 0 for 2 on the third down conversions. This would be their shortest one, though.
And they've been going left every time. Will they go the other way?
They're going to go with a quarterback throwing and overshot his tight end, incomplete. Austin Pope, and it's 4th down again.
Have not been able to, now they're not even confident in their short yardage plays. Hard to blame them. They've been getting stopped regularly. Now they started to slip the fullback. It's an 81 number, but Pope lines up almost 100% of the time either as an H-back or a fullback, and not a good throw that time. Defense needed some help that time. They needed a couple first downs.
Second time on 3rd and 1 they failed to convert, so another punt by Doyle if he can get one away without a flag. There are no flags. And he hit this one a mile in the air. Godwin runs over, he's just going to let it go out of bounds. With 2:12 remaining in the first quarter. CBS Super Bowl season continues tomorrow. Great doubleheader for you. Undefeated Dolphins head to New England. AFC East showdown there. Then Drew Brees drives New Orleans into New York for a battle with the Giants. Day kicks off. JB, Nate, Phil, Boomer, and the coach. The NFL Today presented by Jeep at noon Eastern. Good football coming up tomorrow.
Very interesting how this game unfolds. You have to think back to last week's game against Missouri for Georgia. We talked to offensive coordinator Jim Chaney. He goes, I knew we could throw the ball on them, but I wanted in the first half to stay balanced and run the ball. Now, they've got a touchdown. It's on a weird play, but they have not been consistent moving the ball in the running game.
Elijah Holyfield behind Fromm will get the carry. And Elijah Holyfield has been the best bet in the backfield for Georgia so far this year. He's got about 7 on that one.
Well, you get help coming across, get the block from Warner that time in the H-back position. Lines up at tight end, or H-back comes across, cleans it up, and Holyfield runs mean. That's the word I think of all the time.
Yeah, he's mean in the weight room, too. Second and 3. And this time he slips and goes down. He was helped down by Will Ignat. Georgia, DeAndre Swift and Elijah Holyfield, their numbers coming in. As I said, he's got less carries but more yardage than Swift. Swift's been a little bit injured. And Jim Chaney says, you know, there's injuries and then there's injuries. Elijah kind of runs through those. DeAndre doesn't sometimes.
Yeah.
They're both in there right now.
Now what do? Go empty. They bring them back. It looks like Tennessee's in a zone because nobody shifted for Tennessee when the running back came from the outside to the inside.
Now it's Swift in there with Fromm. Steps up, throws to Hardman. Nico Hardman tripped up. Or he had a bigger gain. Valen Buchanan made the stop.
I'll tell you, Nico Hardman is a go-to player. I think when you're playing against Georgia now, the #1 guy you have to stop is number 4, because he's got such big play potential on the shortest of passes that he throws off your whole pass rush possibility. As long as they're able, as Jeremy Pruitt told us, throw layups to him, we can't get to the quarterback.
From under center with Swift behind him. DeAndre for 3, maybe 4. As we wind the first quarter to a close. It seems like a game that Georgia has completely dominated, but they only have a 7-point lead. End of the first quarter with the score. The Bulldogs 7, the Vols nothing. We'll return to Athens after this message and a word from your local station. Kirby Smart's Georgia Bulldogs leading Jeremy Pruitt's Volunteers of Tennessee by a touchdown as we're set to start the second quarter in Athens. Sanford Stadium full as always on another warm day in the South. Georgia from the 35. First play of the quarter. Fromm delivers a strike to Godwin. And Godwin. Another first down for Georgia as we welcome you back in the booth. Tennessee has one first down through the first 15 minutes. I think they should feel good at 7-0.
Well, it might change in just a couple more plays. Here's what I think. The result of the Tennessee game plan is what happened last week. They got their quarterback hit so much they're protecting the quarterback. You need balance, but half of the balance is throwing the ball too. They're not throwing the ball well enough to really stress this Georgia defense.
As Gary said, Georgia in the red zone right at the 20. And moving the pile, at least for a time, was Brian Herrien. Justin Fields was in on that snap. So his redshirt season is over as well.
Some interesting storylines on those quarterbacks, I'll tell you that.
Well, Jim Chaney said the kid is just too good for us not to get him in the lineup whenever we can. He's in there for a snap, and now Fromm back in.
Yeah, but I could do that.
You could hand off to Herrien.
I could still do that.
Swift, a little hesitation, then the explosion. First down at the 10.
And the reason I think Jim Chaney and Kirby Smart is telling Jim Chaney with advice is we want to stay balanced, because for us to play the top teams in the country, to beat Alabama and Clemson and Ohio State and Oklahoma, pick those 6 or 7 top teams, we have to stay balanced. We need to be both run and pass. This team, whether they want to admit it or not, they're playing Tennessee, but they're also playing the teams in front of them, going on the road to play LSU. This team is being built for championships, not to win just this game.
This might be 1st and 10, not 1st and goal. Actually, it's third down.
Dropped it. It was a great illegal procedure penalty by Georgia that time. It was whistled before the snap.
They're going to get another snap out of it.
Yes, they are.
Number 8, offense. 5-yard penalty, third down.
Riley Ridley, number 8, moved at the wide receiver position just out of the frame, but it was blown dead before the fumbled snap.
Might have been Gilliard, the center.
No, it was Ridley right there. Okay. I just happened to be watching him.
Well, as you said, fortuitous for Georgia because it's third down again.
Yep.
They get another crack at it. 3rd and 5.
Can they put the pressure? They did it before. It does not look like they're bringing extra men this time, just 4.
Fromm, look out. Hit behind, and the ball's out again. Covered by Georgia. Second time today, Jake Fromm has fumbled.
And I think you can see why Kirby Smart and Jim Chaney are saying we're not good enough just to be an all-out passing team. On 3rd down again, they get beat around the corner. And it really got held on the play. Isaiah Wilson, number 79, held Taylor again. That's the second big play by Taylor, number 19. 2 forced fumbles.
And it makes the field goal attempts more difficult for Blankenship. This will be from 43 yards away. He's 6 out of 8 on the year. His longest 45 this season. And he likes it here at home.
He sure does.
It's good. Rodrigo Blankenship tacks 3 more on.
Now, that was a big play by that Tennessee defense this time. Being able to put pressure on the quarterback and stay in the game.
Peyton Manning had some pretty good days when he played the Georgia Bulldogs in the day. Number 16, the youthful looking Peyton Manning. And he had some moments that didn't go all that well against Georgia too, and that was a good one for a touchdown. And Kirby Smart says, nice job, Peyton. Kirby also intercepted him a couple of times in his career.
And ever the veteran Peyton Manning been wearing sunglasses all game. How did he know we were coming to him right there?
I have
Took
no
the
idea.
Sunglasses off.
He's going to be with Jamie in a second.
That's how we knew.
Yeah,
that's
probably.
how we knew.
So Georgia went 9 plays to get that 43-yard field goal after a fumble by Fromm. Ty Chandler waiting back at the goal line. Hasn't had an opportunity to return one today, and he won't here either. Let's go down, Jamie.
Well, Brad, I used to bother this guy on the sideline on Sunday afternoon, so he can't seem to shake me, even though he's done with the NFL. Peyton, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Now, I know the process unfolded a unique way, but why do you think Jeremy Pruitt was really the right guy for this Tennessee program?
Well, he's an SEC veteran. He's been around winning programs. Of course, played at Alabama. I played against Jeremy. I love his passion, his intensity. We got to give him a chance. We got to give him a chance to develop his culture, develop his team. But I believe in him, and I think we're heading in the right direction.
Now you're here today. I know you make it to as many games as you possibly can. But when you come back here, what does it really remind you of? Some of your great SEC memories.
Well, I'm biased toward the SEC. It's the best conference around, as you guys know. And great memories, great rivalry between Tennessee and Georgia. And you know, to see Kirby Smart, who I played against 4 years in college as their head coach, and like I said, played against Coach Pruitt as well. It just kind of speaks to the history and the great passion of the conference.
And he can't defend himself. You beat Kirby 4 times. Is that correct?
I don't really remember it being necessarily me versus Kirby in those games, but the Vols did come out on top in all 4.
All right, thanks, Peyton and Jamie. Second down at 5 here for this edition of the Volunteers. Garantano throws incomplete, intended for Brandon Johnson. And we were talking about one of the rare moments that things didn't go well for Peyton was in '95 when he threw that ball back across the middle and won Kirby Smart one of his 13 career interceptions. Good memories.
I think this is a huge third down conversion here for this Tennessee offense. The defense has been out there for over 22 plays. They're starting to get tired. They had a big stop. They need a first down badly.
Garantano slant complete to Jennings, and he's got the first down. Pretty good coverage by the freshman Tyson Campbell, but Juwan Jennings, a veteran receiver, got inside him to get the catch.
Well, and he likes this place. Had the big catch here last time he was here, and he's big target, and they put it right on him.
Flags down.
This one was whistled before the snap.
Ball start. 51, offense. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Call it on another freshman, Drew Richmond, the right tackle.
Let's see if we can pick it out. Number 51 right here. Let's see if he just puckers a bit.
Right there.
Yep, just before the snap. Just that anticipation move.
Trying to get a little head start. Instead, first and 15. Back to the ground game. Chandler got the edge, kept his balance.
This is great vision. Absolutely great vision this time. When you're looking over here and then you can cut back, that's what the good ones can do. That step, putting that foot in the ground and coming back against the grain made the play.
So you look in from above. The Volunteers just inside their own 45 on a 2nd and 7. This one is knocked down by Georgia defensively. Tay Crowder made the play.
Yeah, and that was a good matchup for Tennessee. Tay Crowder's an inside linebacker matched up over the slot on the tight end. And does it, jumps it. Looks to me like Georgia's starting to play the short passing game. Can Tyson Helton, the offensive coordinator for Tennessee, throw the ball downfield and start to back these guys up?
3rd down and 7. Garantano going the other way, incomplete, knocked out of the hands of Wood Anderson. DeAndre Baker, one of the better corners around, made the play.
Well, DeAndre Baker likes to gamble anyway. And when you're not throwing the ball deep and he can get his eyes on the quarterback, he's looking at the quarterback that time. He feels the first down marker and he attacks the ball. One of the best we have in college football. That's a great matchup for Georgia. Your best cover corner on their tight end.
Doyle into punt again. And fair catch taken. And the ball makes it to the end zone. They'll bring it out to the 20. With just under 10 to go first half, and it's Georgia by 10. Our aerial coverage is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right as you look in between the hedges at Sanford Stadium. During the last time out, the track team got an award, and the guy that gave it to him, my good buddy, the Nature Boy, Ric Flair. And there were 93,000 people going, woo.
Let me ask you a question. We've got Peyton in the house. We got Herschel in the house. Don't you think Ric Flair's the #1 in the house here?
Probably. I think so. There's
celebrity-wise.
There's Herschel and Nate before the game.
Boy, it's hard to top Herschel and Peyton, but Ric Flair might do it in this crowd. Well, this is the 10th possession in the first half in the last 2 games for Georgia. They've got 3 field goals to show for it. Jim Chaney might get a little impatient running the ball. Let's see if they go for something big here pretty soon.
Holyfield trying to bounce it outside. Elijah trying to fight off the tackler, and he got 4 out of it, just out of sheer effort. I'm going to test your knowledge right now with our Aflac trivia question today. It is Georgia and Tennessee quarterbacks hold the top 2 spots in the SEC record book for the most passing yards in a game. Who are they? And it's probably not who you think.
Yeah, that's our hint, right?
Yeah, that's our hint.
So I would assume that means it's not that guy.
It's not Peyton.
And it's probably not Matthew Stafford.
Probably
Because
not. But we don't give any more.
That's it?
Don't give any more clues. Mike Abernathy, I think, is the guy that's down, the defensive captain.
He was the one finishing that tackle in the middle of your screen there. And he gets actually hit from behind by his own player. That really causes the hit with the back of his leg.
First he was fighting Holyfield off, and then he had to fight off his own guy. So we'll check on him when we come back. Monday, Cedric the Entertainer and Max Greenfield star in a new comedy the critics are calling Laugh Out Loud Funny. The Neighborhood premieres Monday at 8, 7 Central, only CBS. Gary will watch that because Gary always says, I know funny, and that's funny.
Well, if it's funny, I'll watch it.
Trayvon Flowers has come in to take Micah Abernathy's spot in the secondary. Abernathy shaken up on that last tackle of Holyfield, but he did go off under his own power, limping slightly, so hopefully he'll be okay to come back in.
And Bryce Thompson is in the game, number 20, another true freshman. That's 2 of them. Is Alante Taylor, number 6, in the game? It might be 3 true freshmen in the secondary now.
Hardman in motion. From throws complete to Holloman, and he's got it out to the 48-yard line. They hooked up on a big touchdown against Missouri a week ago.
I don't even know if Jake Fromm set his feet on this throw. He knew so quickly that he was going to go to the left side of the play. He has to kind of get it one of those backup throws. Never planted his feet. He was so far mentally ahead of that call. He saw the roll-up corner. He knew exactly where he wanted that ball to go.
6 different receiver Jake has used so far today.
He's so much further ahead, Jake Fromm is, than when it was a year ago.
Here's another quick throw, and Terry Godwin would still be running, I think, had he caught that.
Had the bubble right in front of him. Again, pre-read. Tennessee is not confusing the quarterback. Look at that bubble right there. Fromm knows where the ball's going before he gets it. You gotta give him a little bit more of a disguise. A year ago, you might have got away with that. This year, you're not.
So 2nd down and 10. Charlie Werner, the tight end, in motion. From deep down the middle, and that was a mistake. Should have been picked off by Nigel Warrior, and he didn't hold on to it.
I'll tell you, Andrew Thomas that time got beat inside at the offensive tackle, and Warrior could have got that. You're right. Rush inside. That threw the quarterback off. Thomas gets beat. He had to throw Fromm a little bit earlier than he wanted to. Hardman never got out of his break, and that one could have been a pickoff.
Fromm knows it.
So that's what happens. You get that inside rush that can happen to you. You feel it as a quarterback, and you try to pick a spot, avoid the sack, and it can be disaster.
Georgia came in 43% on their third down conversions. This is a long one, and this is a long ball from Fromm, and Holloman just couldn't track it. Looked like he had a spot there. I don't know if he lost that in the sun, but it looked like he slowed down right at the end.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be touchdown all the way. The receivers cross, and the Tennessee almost falls down that time. Bryce Thompson, number 20, the true freshman, never gets in position, and again, might be maybe the third or fourth overthrow in this game for Georgia.
Yeah. Jake Camarda into punt. And again, a nice long kick, but he doesn't keep it on the field. It's great to show off your leg, but it doesn't do any good if it's coming back 20 yards. 8:37 remaining in the first half. Tennessee with the ball on offense when we come back. So number 3 survived in Death Valley. Number 2 leading right here at home by a score of 10-0. Earlier we asked you the Athletic trivia question, which was Georgia and Tennessee quarterbacks hold the top 2 spots. The SEC record book for most passing yards in the game. Who are they? It's not who you think. Tyler Bray for Tennessee, 530, and Eric Zier, who's a booth away from us right now, calling radio color. There's Eric with Neil Williamson, Scott Howard, and Tony Schiavone all in the radio booth for the Dogs. One of the great ones here.
Yeah, and the offensive coordinator for Tyler Bray was Jim Chaney, the current offensive coordinator for Georgia. We used to say you couldn't coach Drew Brees, but Tyler Bray, you got to give him credit.
Yeah, you do. Garantano flips it out to Marquez Callaway. A stiff arm, a collision, and whoa, a big hit at the end by Monty Rice. Finally knocked him out of bounds.
So how do you get the ball into the hands of your best player, Marquez Callaway? You saw Georgia do it with Miko Hardman. You put him in motion, you toss it to him, you got a one-on-one situation. Freak athlete against an inside linebacker, Patrick, and you get a positive play for your team. That's good coaching, good game planning.
And a good pickup of 8. Second down and 2. Jennings in motion. And
not quite.
I don't know.
I think he made it. He just had to get to the line.
Check in with Jamie.
Well, Brad, good news for the Tennessee defense. Micah Abernathy was in the medical tent for the remainder of that series. Right ankle got retaped. I got the thumbs up from the team, though, that he should be good to go back in.
That's good news for him. He started more games than anybody else on this Tennessee team, so they need his experience and leadership back there on the back end. Jordan did get the first down by the nose of the football. They'll try him again. Last week, one of the things that Coach Pruitt told us about Ty Chandler and Tim Jordan, he said when they hit the pile never moved forward. It always moved backwards, whereas Madre London and Jeremy Banks, the 3 and 4th running backs, did a better job of moving the pile.
Yeah, but it's not quite as easy as that, as Jeremy said, and offensive coordinator Helton said 2 of them catch the ball better, and 2 of them right now are the more powerful backs, so you got to mix and match.
Argo backs here, and down goes Garantano, courtesy of DeAndre Walker.
Well,
Walker, the leading sacker for Georgia, adds another one.
Yeah, DeAndre Walker made the play on first down, coming around on the backside run, and now he comes and makes the play again, coming around to the inside. Watch this. Tackle and stunt comes inside, and Tennessee could not handle it. He gets a free run at the quarterback.
And a big loss back to the 25.
He was becoming an impact player a year ago for this Georgia defense, and he's just taken it from there.
Third and long. And another loss. And another big play by the Georgia defense. Keon Richardson that time.
Well, it's kind of an interesting matchup coming into this game. Georgia was ranked 119th in the country in tackles for a loss. That includes sacks. But here you go, back-to-back plays. They get a sack for one and a tackle for a loss. On the other side, Tennessee is ranked 119th of giving up tackles for loss, so it's not a good matchup for Tennessee.
Tennessee had something working, had a first down, and now they're way back with their punter at the 10-yard line.
And they got to punt it to number 4.
Flag down, and I think they roughed the punter. If they did, it's a first down. If it's only running into, it won't be, but Joe Doyle is happy. Eric Stokes is not.
Well, and you got to give Eric Stokes a free run at trying to do it after he blocked one for a touchdown last week. And it's not going to be intentional. It's just going to be the 5-yarder, I think. So they're going to punt it again.
Running into the kicker. 27, receiving team. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Yeah, you see how he pulled off right there? He hit Doyle in his kicking leg. But they just called it running into the kicker, and Doyle spun out of it smartly, but didn't get the full roughing the punter.
Don't forget, coming up in a little less than 6 minutes of clock time, Geico halftime report. Zook, Rick, and BJ have all the highlights from games earlier, including Clemson's escape on their home field against Syracuse. So Doyle to do it again. This time Georgia's got the return on. High punt. Hardman has to call for a fair catch and catches it on the Georgia sideline.
Can't do it any better than that if you're the punter. Now, we talked about the almost plays that Georgia had. Potential touchdowns. Drop balls on one to Swift. After a short yardage play on 3rd and 1, you get a penalty and get a sack, and then again on a long pass that could have been a big play. It's that close for this Georgia offense, and it's keeping Tennessee in this football game.
And it's putting Justin Fields on the field.
Yes,
right
it is,
now.
Isn't it? And are they going to let him do something more than hand it off this time? In practice, he was amazing throwing the ball downfield.
Holyfield's with him in the backfield. And Elijah gets the call and gets 5 or 6. Justin Fields this season's been used in every game, only 1 snap a week ago, but a highly touted freshman can do a lot of different things. A couple of rushing touchdowns, and as Gary said, he's got a wicked arm when you watch him in practice. Holyfield picks his way through the second wave and picks up the first down.
This is where the seniors on this Tennessee defense have to step up and get this drive stopped. And they've got a bunch of them in their front 7. 4 seniors, 3 juniors. They got to get a stop on this drive. Remember, at this time in the second quarter, plus Georgia gets the ball, this game could get away from you fast with a touchdown here by Georgia.
Fields rolls to throw, fires complete. Riley Ridley on the receiving end of it.
Well, everyone has, I mean, Georgia's one of the 3 teams with the quarterback, what do we call it, conversation?
Yeah.
That will never stop now that, you know, like everybody that, you know, has a iPad has a talk show nowadays.
And Trevor Lawrence being injured might rejuvenate Kelly Bryant's stay at Clemson. Here's Fields, and he keeps it, and this is what he does very well. Not that Jake Fromm's not a good runner, but this guy is probably more dynamic in that area. Quarterback situations, as Gary said, dual threat, meaning duel between the two, and Tua and Jalen both played extensively today in Alabama's romp.
Yeah. And Kelly Bryant announced his transfer and now is negotiating to see where he's going to go. And I think Clemson's in the picture, right?
I think they are. Dabo Swinney said at halftime today, I'd welcome him back. Going to be interesting. DeAndre Swift, again the hesitation, and then the explosion into the secondary. Flag down. Let's see if they're going to bring it back for a hold.
Well, the wide receivers for Georgia, you either block or you don't play.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield. 5-yard penalty. First down.
On the
Had enough of those today,
on the previous play, Riley Ridley got a great block on the run by Justin Fields, and this time lining up the wrong spot. Yep. Got 5 guys again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 guys in the backfield. Easy call. It's somebody not knowing what they're playing and what position. Modern football, you don't always line up in the same spot. Sometimes you're a flanker lining up off the ball. The next time you line up on the ball as the next receiver.
XYZ. You got to know which letter you are.
Exactly.
First and 15 at the 46. Fields fires on the sideline. Let's see, did he stay in bounds on the catch? No, he's out. Jason Stanley was the intended receiver.
This ball was thrown slightly late. The hole was exactly where the ball was thrown. That was the correct hole. But he threw it just a little bit late, and that's why Stanley had to stop. Now remember, when you're going backwards, having your toe does not count being in. It comes when you're going backwards, it becomes your heel as the determining factor.
Fields is going to move Harrion. Got to hurry on the snap. Just got it away. And it is Harrion on the carry. Broke one tackle and another. Good run.
Well, it was for a few years here. It was Michelle and Chubb. And now they've got a whole plethora of guys they use, but they don't seem to have that stability that they had. This is where the team is different from a year ago. The leadership and stability that those two great players got there. That's why I say Georgia will be better at the end of the year than they are right now, and they're pretty darn good right now.
Only leading by 10, though, with under 3 to go in the half. They're down in 6 for Fields.
And they got him. Free play.
He's going to go deep on the sideline, and it's intercepted by Trayvon Flowers, but we think it's coming back.
Now, something I've been talking about with quarterbacks on the shotgun is whether they're going to call the head bob. The quarterback simulating the snap.
Offside. Number 5, defense. In the neutral zone at the snap. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Well, we talked about those seniors up front, and it was Kyle Phillips, number 5, that's going to get it. But you could see the simulated snap by the quarterback drew off that Tennessee front defensive line. When I was under center, you see that movement by the quarterback right there as he leaned back? When I was under center, when you did that and leaned back, that was a call that anticipated the snap would be called on you. They let the shotgun guys get away with that, and I think too much.
And now it's Fromm back in on the pitch to Holyfield. I don't think so. Needed a yard. Ignont, the linebacker, made the stop.
I'll tell you, Nigel Warrior, Brad, did a great job of turning this play in. He hits it. Watch him turn it inside by taking the block, eating up the block, sacrificing his body, and letting his teammates make the tackle. That's how you play good defense.
And I think Kirby says, you know what? Let's go for one here.
Well, they didn't make it in this situation last week, and they had 8 offensive linemen in the game.
They come up the line in a hurry. And timeout.
Tennessee, I think. Was it?
Timeout of the half. Tennessee.
So both teams will have a chance to talk about it. Now a big play coming up here, Gary. 4th and 1, and Georgia, at least before that timeout, showed that they were going to go for it, or at least have Jake Fromm maybe try to draw Tennessee offside.
Yeah. And you know what's different about this Georgia team is they don't have that fullback that they've had for years and years here to just follow in this situation. A week ago, 4th and 1, they did not make it before half, and that infuriated Kirby.
Now Holyfield has to come up to get the snap count or something from Fromm. They give it to Harrion on a sweep, and he got the 1st down. 2 backs in there. Didn't see that one coming.
Same look, but you can never dig your heels in against this Georgia offense. They come at you a lot of different ways. When you don't have a fullback, you do something different. Charlie Warner, 89, good hook block on that play.
Georgia with 11 first downs already in the game. They moved it to the 26-yard line.
And even though Fields got him down there, it's so important they got Jake Fromm back in this football game to try to get a touchdown in this series.
Here's Fromm throwing the out. Got it complete. Ridley. A big hit. And a helmet pops off back there for Nigel Warrior.
Yeah, it was a perfect throw to the outside, but that'll cost their best player a play. Nigel Warrior will have to come off the field. very calmly. Jake Fromm throws the ball to the outside. One of the best quarterbacks I've seen. He did it even as a true freshman last year of throwing the ball outside the numbers. He's extremely confident throwing the ball wide.
So there goes Warrior for that at least one play, and Georgia's inside the 15. They fake the stretch play, and on the bootleg, the throw is complete to Holloman. Holloman got a 1st and goal at the 4.
Well, I can tell you, with Warrior not in the game, Tennessee had a bust. Watch the safety and watch Nada go wide open for a touchdown. You don't have your best signal caller back there. Tennessee very fortunate that just in one play it didn't get a touchdown.
And our Chick-fil-A pylon cam shows you the receiver Holloman coming right at you. They actually spot this inside the 3 at the 2.
And that's Wildcat.
And Fromm is
dropped
outside. Holyfield dropped the ball, and now fighting his way. He's not going to get there. If he gets that cleanly, it might be a different story. And he just dropped it. He had his eyes looking where he was heading.
Did his dad have hands of steel and pass it down?
Yeah, he was a real deal.
Was he?
Yeah.
That one wasn't handled very well.
No, it wasn't. Fromm back under center on 2nd and goal. DeAndre Swift is behind him. They pitch it to Swift. Walks in, touchdown, Georgia. DeAndre Swift finds the end zone for the 3rd time this year.
Watch Andrew Thomas, number 71. Played as a true freshman a year ago at right tackle. Now he moves to left tackle. Watch him get the key kick out block on the play. Blocked down, good block by Stanley, by the way, the wide receiver manning up inside to clear a path. You got to have a lot of guts to play wide receiver and block inside like that.
Georgia did everything they wanted to do on that drive, including using a lot of clock. Extra point is up and good. They used 5:07 off the clock to be exact, and went 70 yards in 12 plays. The capper, the pitch to DeAndre Swift, and the Dogs have stretched their lead to 17-0. Georgia 17-0 on Tennessee with the kickoff upcoming. DeAndre Swift, they changed that run officially to a 1-yard touchdown on that last drive. Blankenship's kick. Again, a touchback.
So, Brett, if you're Tennessee, you're hanging in there. You're fighting against one of the best teams. You get it 3rd and 6. This is the part of the field and down in distance where you have to be careful. You can't jump off sides. What's the result of this play? Tennessee ends this drive with an interception. First thing we talked about, Tennessee's got an average growing team. They can't let Tennessee beat Tennessee, and that's what's happened.
They have to play almost perfect, and right now they're not. And we'll take a knee.
And now you wonder, with this type of offense in the first half, could Keller Chris come in as a quarterback? He played last week. Do you make a change? Try to light a fire under this team for Tennessee. If you're Jeremy Pruitt, what do you do?
Both Georgia quarterbacks played in the half. And Jamie's with the leading coach, Kirby Smart.
Coach, you stalled out on a couple of drives offensively. What'd you see on them? What was different about that last one?
I thought we got some momentum going there, had a couple plays, got it rolling, went a little bit of tempo, and really hadn't stopped us. We stopping ourselves. We got to do a better job executing.
What is the most successful part of your defense to hold them scoreless today?
Well, we're controlling the run game. We're not getting lined up right some, which is frustrating, but they're getting off the field on the 3rd down, which has mattered a lot.
All right, Coach, thanks.
Thank you.
So into the locker room go the Bulldogs with a 17-point lead. And out to New York we go for the Geico halftime report. Zook, Brick, and BJ standing by, fellas.
All right.
to Fromm, picked up by Nauta. Touchdown!
They pitch it to Swift.
Cuts in at the hash, touchdown!
And that's some of the action from half number one as we bring you back to Sanford Stadium. 17-0 is our scores. We're getting set to head into the third quarter. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson. Partner, I hate to bring this up, but it's been 6 quarters now straight that Tennessee has not scored on Georgia.
Yeah. Tennessee a little unlucky. You know, they get a sack. I mean, you're trying all you can to match up against a team that's a little better than right now, and then they get the break. Although at the end of the half, when they could have stopped them, they got the unforced error and gave them another touchdown. So a little bit of both sides. But I think Tennessee, they don't want to. It's going to have to open it up. 30 yards passing, you know, 1 for 6 on third down. You know, even Alabama had to bring Tua in to move the ball against these guys. You know, as much as you don't want to change what you're doing, you're going to have to be a little bit more explosive in the play calls to try to move the ball against this good Georgia defense.
And giving up that late touchdown before the half, and then Georgia gets the ball first to start the third quarter. You don't want that to turn into a 14-point swing over the course of a couple of minutes.
That's why that last 5 minutes of the half is so big.
And Georgia will work from the 25-yard line as we check in with Jamie.
Oh, Brad, some blunt and honest answers from Jeremy Pruitt coming out of the locker room on that one. We'll start defensively. I actually asked him in the first half, I heard him go to his guys and say, are you into this game? And I asked him, what made you say that? He said, have you ever seen a ball get picked up and returned for 30 yards? No, neither have I. Offensively, he was disappointed in the 3 first downs. As you mentioned, they have to make those explosive plays.
Let's see if they can start the third quarter with a defensive stop.
But you know what? You got to call some explosive plays to make some explosive plays. They've not thrown the ball down the field at all.
Elijah Holyfield, 2 or 3 on the first carry. Take a look at the trends of the first half.
Well, it hasn't been perfect for Georgia either, but they have spread the ball around. That might be the trademark that's most different about this team. Brad mentioned the middle run. 6 quarters kind of hard to avoid when you can't score against your opponent, especially it's your rivalry opponent. And that's where we are right now. So different than where we were the last time we were here 2 years ago.
Here's Fromm, the quick throw out to Godwin for the first down. Nice stiff arm by Terry Godwin to pick up a couple extra yards. Godwin had been battling some injuries, just kind of ticky-tack, nagging injuries, but he's as healthy as he's been now.
Jamie's report was so good, but if you stand up here a little bit away from, when you're not in the fray like Jeremy is, such a lucky, who wouldn't be flat-footed? If you get a sack, the ball's on the ground, and wait, what? They got the ball and they're running? It's never excusable, but sometimes you get it, you know, standing back here. Ness, before you got here, 2016, this is where these teams were when Kirby was the first-year coach. Remember this game? The last 2 Hail Marys. This was the time when Tennessee had just been 5-0. And since that game, how much has changed in these 2 programs? They were a sliver apart 2 years ago, and look where they are now.
And Georgia's a defending conference champion and lost in overtime in the national championship game, and Tennessee has lost 10 straight SEC games. Fromm pump fakes one way, goes that way, complete to Nauta. First down, Georgia.
Isaac Nauta is so valuable on this team because he's a willing blocker and a capable receiver. The perfect tight end, tough matchup in any level of football. In the NFL, in college, if you have one of those guys who's good enough to block at the end of the line of scrimmage and then capable enough to get downfield, they're like gold to an offense.
Isaac predicted to be a second-team All-SEC performer, picked up 17 on that pass and catch, and now DeAndre Swift with 3 more for Georgia. Nauta had a big game in that game 2 years ago against Tennessee that we talked about that Georgia fans want to forget because of Joshua Dobbs' pass to Juwan Jennings for the touchdown, but he caught 5 balls for 83 yards and a touchdown, and he has a touchdown today of 40 on a fumble recovery of his own player. Harry and back in to the Georgia backfield. On 2nd down and 7. The throws out to Mecole Hardman. Wow. Big collision over there on the sideline with Alontae Taylor. Last week, Jake Fromm struggled in the first half big time, but he came back and was almost perfect in the second half, including 3 touchdown throws. One, a deep one to Holloman, another long one to Hardman, who he just completed that pass to.
Yeah, touchdown passes of 33, 54, and 61 yards in the second half.
3rd down and 3, opening series of the 3rd quarter.
Cortez Sapp is in the football game. As Jamie reported earlier, he's much healthier this week than he was a week ago.
Holyfield, 1st down run. That's something Georgia had trouble with earlier this season. I think this is their short yardage guy of the future and the present.
Well, Solomon Kinley, number 66, got up, clapping, looking at the bench. He knows that this offensive line is expected to be physical, and he fit up on the middle linebacker that time and made that play possible. That seems to me to be the one area that Kirby and this team is waiting to get to the level they were a year ago. Can that offensive line dominate the line of scrimmage?
Basically everybody coming back other than Isaiah Wynn, who was the #1 pick of the Patriots. From delayed blitz, throws complete. This time the other tight end, Charlie Woerner. And Charlie's good for about 8 yards.
It's like, I don't know, playing blackjack and you know what card's coming up next. I swear Jake Fromm knows what they're dealing before the card is turned over. He had that ball going out to that spot before he even clapped his hand.
Jim Chaney, the offensive coordinator, said his anticipation and seeing the field and knowing where he wants to go is impeccable.
He said he's only coached one guy even close.
We know who that was.
I'm not doing that this week. I used his name last week.
No more Drew Brees talk.
No more.
Brian Harrion on the carry. Another 1st down. Jamie.
Yeah, he's got that football IQ in terms of the intangibles, Jake Fromm does. We heard it from several members of this Georgia football staff. He makes us right a lot of the time, but that is tricky, as Jim Chaney mentioned, because sometimes those younger guys, you know, Fromm gets up to the line, he wants to go, and he whips a ball at a freshman, and they're all like, you got to catch up to Jake Fromm. That's the problem here sometimes with Georgia. It's a good problem to have.
It is. And now, speaking of freshmen, Justin Fields in a red zone package for him.
And you have to play him as a wildcat runner.
And there he goes, heading to the edge. Justin Fields, touchdown, Georgia.
You have to play him as a tailback and then worry about the passing anyway afterward. Charlie Woerner, number 89, comes across the formation and makes the key block. Watch him lead the play. Sets it up, makes the block. Fields gets into the secondary and runs through a kind of a sloppy tackle by Kirkland.
And a smile on a head coach's face as that play in the red zone worked to perfection. A 12-yard scoring run by Justin Fields. And Blankenship in for the point after. The snap was bobbled, and the kick is still good.
How do you do that?
Sometimes you got to be lucky.
How does he get? He was past the ball.
Watch Rodrigo Blankenship reload, if you will.
Watch him go past the ball, then back it up, and then make it.
Things are going well for Georgia. 75-yard drive, 10 plays. Even the extra point was a reboot. 24-0. And now, do Project Smarter, presented by Home Depot. I'll tell you what's smart.
Having a quarterback, 5-star backup quarterback? No, that's really smart. That's not just smart. When you can keep recruiting that position. And nowadays, what's even smarter is keeping them. And the way you keep them is let them play a little bit. This was at the end of the first half. He drew Tennessee off. And then in the second half, he used his running skills to score that touchdown. If you got a quarterback and you got a 5-star runner, smart to use it.
Smart recruiting, smart play calling. Georgia 24-0. Blankenship, his kickoff a lot deeper than his last extra point. In fact, into the crowd. Hot Rod. That's why they call him Hot Rod.
If he had a kilt on, he would have been like the guy last week, right?
Yeah, that guy missed bad. Monday, Jay Hernandez stars in the show's critic call ridiculously fun and full of high-octane energy. I should say they wrecked 2 Ferraris just last week when I watched. Don't miss the new Magnum PI. It's Monday at 9, 8 Central, only CBS. Here's Hot Rod. Oh, he got bumped. I thought he was just goofing around. Okay. Jarrett Garantano finally going to go deep. Man out there, and he overshot him. Josh Palmer was the intended receiver. Pretty good coverage.
Now he's matched up against the true freshman Tyson Campbell, who came off last week and allowed Eric Stokes to have his great game against Missouri, but pretty good coverage. It would have had to have been a perfect throw. But you still got to throw some of those just to back this defense off a bit.
2nd and 10. Give is to Jeremy Banks. Whoa. Ran into a whole pack of dogs.
Yeah, that defense now is smelling blood. They know they're going to have a chance to rush the passer, and DeAndre Baker, number 18, is the other cornerback on the field. Gone at him just a couple times in this game. He usually matches up with the most dangerous receiver. Against South Carolina, he had Deebo Samuel. Missouri had Emmanuel Hall, although Hall was nicked. Today, nothing to his side of the field. I don't even think they've had a completion over there. If they did, it's been a short one.
They've been horrible on 3rd down today, and this is a long one. Garantano fires down the middle, and that's a good one. Marquez Callaway. That quiets the Georgia crowd momentarily as Marquez has it out to the 40-yard line.
He's going to have to come off the field. He was like a boxer stunned on this one. He's done. Easy squaring, gets hit, gets actually pressed in between 2 players that time. I think it was Taylor and DeAndre Baker, and he's probably done for the day. He's going to have to go in that concussion protocol.
The side judge helped him to the sideline after the collision there.
Because when he gets up, he's stunned. He tries to get to his feet, and he gets wobbly real fast.
And that takes away their number 1 target and their biggest play threat. Georgia shifting on their defensive front on 1st down. Play action. Garantano getting flushed and has to just get rid of it as Natrez Patrick was given chase in the backfield.
Well, as long as he got outside the tackle box, he's allowed to intentionally ground that ball. The only thing he has to do is get it past the line of scrimmage, which he did.
That's Marquez Callaway in the 10th.
Gets outside the tackle box, get rid of it, avoid the sack, and obviously it was past the line of scrimmage. What do you got? What do you do if you're calling plays? Do you move them? They're having trouble protecting the passer.
Give it to Banks, who's going to get nothing. And again, Natrez Patrick was the first guy to get him. And they're roughing this freshman up. Surprised there wasn't a flag on the end of the last play.
Yeah, well,
maybe there was. I just didn't see it.
Well, there's a flag. I think it was
after the play is over. Personal foul. Number 15, defense. 15-yard penalty. An automatic 1st down.
And now you're going to watch Kirby go crazy.
Yep. Last week he said the one he went crazy on, he was wrong. But he said I still went crazy.
He's going to make him look at the replay.
Yes. Well, it's pretty expensive. They put this thing in here. You might as well look at it once in a while.
Right.
And it was unnecessary. Cleaning the pile, throws them away, and again, in this game, might not be a big deal, but they're coaching down the line. Yeah, get off the field.
So 1st down at the 45 for Tennessee. First time in Georgia territory. End around coming from Josh Palmer. Oh, man. And I guess he got him with his shoulder. That could have been a targeting on LeCount. But that was a serious collision.
Well, I'll tell you, Monty Rice read the play and set him up, and then LeCount finishes it. Whoa. Now, I couldn't tell if that was helmet to helmet yet. Let's watch it in slow motion. Can't tell. It looked a little bit like LeCount lowered his head on the play, but I couldn't tell if it was helmet. Oh, it could be. Let's see if the replay official stops it. He does not.
They don't. Garantano Got a man open in the flats, Chandler. So Tennessee finally has something working here in Georgia territory. And again, they were helped by
just
the penalty.
Thought this was potential defenseless player. He was wrapped up. He's turning around, and LeCount lowers his head and hits him right almost in the face mask on the play.
And again, it wasn't called, so play on. Certainly could have been, I think.
I wonder if LeCount is stunned from the previous play.
He's down right now. So a third down coming up for Tennessee. And again, another look. The collision with LeCount after Monty Rice started to wrap up Jennings. And they both didn't fare well on this play. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by ExxonMobil, Sonic, the Home Depot, and by Ford. The A-10 Warthogs before the game, right after the national anthem. Those guys that flew in. It's always awesome when you have the flyover at a stadium that is this packed and this excited for their SEC football team, in this case Georgia, with the lead on Tennessee.
And he knew how to play to the crowd too, right?
Yeah, they did.
Jersey right there.
Huge third down for Tennessee, trying to keep one of their only sustained drives alive. Georgia's going to blitz, and it paid off. Going to be a loss on the play, and it was Keon Richardson, or was it David Marshall? David Marshall.
And he blitzed right into it off the edge. I don't know if Jarrett Garantano had the ability to keep the ball, but he surely should have. From the left side, he just crashes right into the play. Right into it. Missed block up front. Actually, Trey Smith beat Trey Smith on the block, and nothing was there that wasn't part of Garantano's read at all.
And here they've got to go on fourth down because they're running out of time. They're 4 out of 7 on fourth down conversions. Fourth and a long 5. Garantano, the slant's incomplete, intended for Jennings, but a flag.
Yep, gonna run right up his back. Tyson Campbell, number 3 that time.
Pass interference, number 3, defense. Well, he places the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
He sort of lost his footing, Gary, on the cut, and I think had that not happened, he had a better play on the ball, but he sort of stumbled into it.
That was confusing. It looked like Josh Palmer that time didn't exactly know what to do. If he'd accelerated, I think Campbell would have been all right. Watch him. He takes his foot, and then he slows down. And Campbell's trying to beat him to the spot, and he beat him by a lot.
6 penalties on Georgia today after a 6-penalty game a week ago. This one gives Tennessee a first down.
Josh Palmer has no idea what the play is.
Garantano, off play action, scrambles around, is going to throw it to his safety valve on the flat. That's going to be a loss of 3 more. Natrez Patrick again handles Brandon Johnson.
You know, the bad part of it is the ball might have been coming to Palmer. He had no idea. He kept looking to the quarterback like, I don't know the play. And then Jarrett goes to look for him, and he's not there. Fake the sweep. He looks to his right, and as I thought, Palmer had no idea what was going on.
Now a big shift here with the tight end and Brandon Johnson.
And Richard LeCount is back in the game at free safety.
Empty backfield. Garantano going to air one out long. He's got a man there. Jennings. Josh Palmer, rather, for the touchdown. He knew what he was doing on that play.
He did. It's a lot better when you all know what to do at the same time. He beat J.R. Reed on the play. Plenty of time to step in the throw, and the big mistake early in this drive by DeAndre Walker cost the Georgia defense. He's in the slot right here, matched up against the safety. Look at J.R. Reed does not know what's going on. By the time he figures it out, the matchup with a wide receiver on an inside linebacker, Georgia had to be misaligned.
And now Tennessee's going to go for 2.
3 times 8 is 24.
I knew you taught math for a reason.
First charge, time out of the half, Georgia.
Georgia takes a timeout.
Yeah, Kirby ran all the way down to the 6-yard line to get that timeout.
Again, Georgia knows that had number 15 not done this, they wouldn't be in a situation where the Volunteers did that. Our aerial coverage is sponsored by State Farm, here to help life go right with Aaron Rodgers, Gary Danielson, Brad Nessler, Jamie Erdahl. Sanford Stadium as you zoom in to the field where Tennessee's finally scored a touchdown for the first time in 6 quarters in about 10 minutes against Georgia, being shut out 41-0 a year ago in Knoxville, and now they're going for 2 here. There's the length of time it took them to score against the Dogs defense. Garantano, and now there looks like there's some confusion again. Jawan Jennings, did he know where to go? Garantano trying to go right back to Josh Palmer, and it's incomplete.
Well, it seems like everybody runs the same play down here on these 2-point plays. Clemson in it for a touchdown to win the national championship. But since then, yeah, but since then, I got the feeling that everybody's been practicing this play. You know, let's go back to those 2 plays. We talked that Josh Palmer was not aware of the play before the touchdown. Watch him right here trying to figure out, what do I do? What do I do? I have no idea. I'm looking, I'm asking one way, I'm asking the other way. Obviously, if you don't know what the play is, you're not going to be open. This time in the slot, knows exactly what he's doing. The indecision is back here by J.R. Reed. You got a linebacker on a wide receiver. Good anticipation by the quarterback, and it costs Georgia 6 points.
And that is the first touchdown catch of the year for Josh Palmer. In fact, that's the first touchdown catch of his career, not just the season. Paxton Brooks will kick off. As you scoot down the field, you'll be behind him. Nico Hardman waits back. Deep for Georgia. And he's going to call a fair catch to bring it out to the 25. Jamie?
Brad, Tennessee put 6 on the board there, but they lost a major weapon during that drive. Wide receiver Marquez Callaway has left the field. He is out for the game. Now, Tennessee won't disclose the actual injury. However, when he emerged from the medical tent, he still had to be steadied on his feet. He kept his gaze down. So if you put 2 and 2 together, you fear that it is concussion related.
You know, he got dinged up last year in this game that was played in Knoxville, and kind of a similar situation on a long ball where his head hit the turf. So Georgia comes out having scored on their opening drive of the quarter. Now they've got 5:14 to work with remaining in the quarter at the 25-yard line. The pitch, DeAndre Swift trying to get to the corner. Can't. Nice job.
That was Cortez Sapp, by the way, that made that play.
Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans brings you today's Scholar Athletes. Ryan Johnson and DeAndre Swift, who just got that pitch. Journalism guy, probably wants our jobs again. All those guys are all over the place. Rocket Mortgage by Quicken Loans showing their commitment to the investment of our future by donating $1,000 to Tennessee and Georgia's General Scholarship Fund.
All right, let's see who the leaders are. Let's see if they can get this Georgia offense off the field and Tennessee make this a football game. Still plenty of time.
Holyfield into the middle of the pile for only 2.
One of the things that Jeremy Pruitt said about last week's game, yeah, we turned the ball over 6 times. We made plenty of mistakes. But I thought for the first game, the look in our guys' eyes, they never stopped playing right till the end. Now let's see if we can keep this team playing the end of this football game.
And a 3rd down and 8. This would be huge for the Vols defense if they can prevent Jake Fromm from picking up this 1st down.
Yeah, because it's not going to get any easier for this Tennessee football team. It's staring them right in the face.
Fromm has time. Deep sideline. Nice throw and catch to Hardman.
Again, you see anybody that can throw the ball better to the outside of the field than Jake Fromm. He did it as a true freshman, and this time he does it again. Look where that ball's thrown. No possibility of this ball going to anybody but Hardman. That's what you like as a offensive play caller, when you can trust your quarterback to take a chance with nothing that bad can happen to your team.
Nico's 4th catch. Back to the ground. Holyfield spins for a yard. That's all. Gary was talking about the gauntlet for the Volunteers, but he said it's not going to get any easier. I guess not, because they've lost 4 of the last 5 to these Georgia dogs, except that Hail Mary 2 years ago that we talked about. They've lost the last 6 to Auburn, and they've lost the last 11 against Alabama.
Well, they only ran the ball against Florida 23 times for 54 yards, and the next 3 defensive fronts are better than that Florida front.
2nd and 9. Nice play fake from. He waited too long.
They do. Good coverage that time.
Darrell Taylor gets the sack.
They were trying to get the ball to Jeremiah Holloman, number 9, but it was not anything downfield. They were going for the deep ball to finish the football game, and he's double covered. By the time he tried to come off to the crossing route, it was too late.
So it's 3rd down and 15.
Well, this has been Darrell Taylor time, number 19. Can they stop him in this situation?
Hardman jumping around to get in the slot. They're going to run it on DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, I think that's the last 2 plays that Darrell Taylor made caused that call right there. They were not going to allow Tennessee to get the ball in plus territory. They just did not have the confidence that they could block him. Remember, this guy has been making the plays. Oh, it's the other side. My fault that time. Got him on the wrong. I thought that was a 3. It was a 9. It was a 3. That was Johnson, DeAndre Johnson.
So they got the stop that they needed, the Volunteers defense. Jake Kamar to the punt. They came after him a little bit that time. He hangs up this one out of bounds.
And good field position.
Yeah. See where they're going to spot this. I think it's going to be around the 30, maybe more. Now, 33. So not a good punt. Trying to prevent a touchback. Not going off the side of his foot. Tennessee, as Gary said, good field position when we come back. LSU right now has shocked everybody for the most part, I think.
Yeah. I think probably the biggest surprise in college football, don't you think, right?
Only guys that have beat 2 top 10 teams.
There's a few, though, like basketball schools with good records.
There are,
right?
Kentucky. And,
yeah. Quote unquote.
Coach Stoops doesn't want to hear that.
No, I know. But he doesn't listen to every word I say.
No, he doesn't, I'm sure. First down for Tennessee after just a 21-yard punt. Here's a throw out in the flats to the tight end. And a good gain. About 7 for Dominique Wood Anderson. Tennessee up to the line in a hurry. Time is of the essence with 1 minute remaining in this quarter. Broken tackle for Banks. And the guy that Georgia had the penalty against gets some payback with a first down run.
That's exactly what Coach Pruitt was talking to us about. The 2 guys, 33 and 31, this time it's Banks 33, are breaking tackles and falling forward. When they get easy, I'm tired of seeing running backs falling backwards. When they're tackled, I want them falling forward. Those yards add up. The Walter Payton yards. Remember Emmitt Smith? He never got back, knocked backwards.
At the 49, it's Banks again. This time only a yard.
I feel like I should put Herschel in that group too, just because
probably, yeah. It's Herschel Walker Day here.
Just in case.
Some SEC news and notes this week. Former athletic director Larry Templeton inducted into the Mississippi State Sports Hall of Fame last night. Congratulations to Larry. We talked about Kentucky. 2-0 in conference play. First time in a long time. 3 SEC teams in the top 5 of the AP poll for the first time in 4 years. And of course, one of them is right here. And they're leading at the end of the third quarter. Number 2, Georgia, with a 24-6 lead at the end of 3. We'll return to Athens right after this message and a word from your local station. Jarrett Guarantano, that was the end of the third quarter, coming over, trying to fire up his teammates and trying to fire the Tennessee team up at midfield right now to start the 4th and final quarter. Guarantano throws and incomplete. We welcome you back to the booth. Just that look of Guarantano right there. Tennessee's thinking we still got some hope. We're not out of this thing.
You know, no one's questioned Jarrett Guarantano's toughness. The question I wonder about is, does he have to prove it almost every time he drops back to throw? Right. He's been getting hit a lot. A little better job by Tennessee, I think, protecting him, and a little better game plan. Still a football game here, okay? Field goal could still make it a 2-possession game. Some way, Tennessee has to find a way to get this into a 2-possession game. They're only likely to get the ball 2 or 3 times more in the game. Think of it this way. We started the 4th quarter, and this is only the 2nd possession Tennessee has had it in the 2nd half.
They still got hope. They've got a 3rd down when we come back. And now it's time for our ExxonMobil game recap between the Dogs and the Volunteers. One of the craziest plays we've seen so far this year. Not a doubt about it for Isaac, who missed the block but picked up the fumble and raced 40 yards for Georgia's first touchdown. Crazy play. That gave the Dogs a lead. Too fast, too swift, too shifty. DeAndre Swift takes it in for a Georgia touchdown in the 2nd quarter. Justin Fields got on the field and did this. A 12-yard scoring run for the Dogs to increase their lead. And it's about time they went deep, and they did. And Jarrett Guarantano hooked up with Josh Palmer on Tennessee's touchdown, and that's where we are at 24-6. And a 3rd down and 9 coming out of this timeout for the Volunteers.
And that's the first pass over 25 yards in 2 games. Drew Lock last week did not have a pass over. Well, he had one, but it was a tailback that ran that far. Throwing down the field, the Georgia secondary has not given up the big play in the last 2 games until that touchdown right here. So let's set this up. You're down, went for 2, so you're a little bit behind the score with the 3 times 8 is 24, but it's 4 times 6. So they're going to have to fix this one way. Field goal or touchdown right here. And they're going to use probably all 4 downs because they only got going to get the ball back 2 more times, 3 at the max.
Empty backfield for Jarrett Guarantano. 4 wideouts and a tight end. Georgia's going to bring an extra man on the rush. Guarantano going deep and overshot his intended receiver, Joanne Jennings. And it's 4th down.
Beautifully designed pass rush here. Watch the middle linebacker do his job. He will connect right here with the guard, and then they'll wrap the ends around. Watch him block the guard and then wrap around for the free run at the quarterback. That's how you devise those stunts up the middle.
So Joe Doyle to punt.
Yeah, I thought they'd be going for it here, to tell you the truth.
And final timeout of the half, Georgia.
I think Georgia was surprised they are going a punt here too.
And Georgia's out of timeouts with a lot of football left. The Home Depot SEC on CBS is sponsored by GMC, Humana, Chick-fil-A, and by Wheels Up. Some of the shots around the beautiful campus here at the University of Georgia in Athens.
Ness, if Tennessee would have made the 2-point play and make it a 2-point possession, I would punt. With a 3-possession game here, I can't punt. I got to go for it 4th and 9 and just roll the dice.
Reminder for you, don't forget later in the game, play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. So Doyle in to kick. Georgia's out of timeouts. Terry Godwin's waiting on this on the other end, back around the 10-yard line. End over end, he's going to have to call for a fair catch, and does at the 14. Georgia takes over there offensively with a 24-6 lead. Sundays have always been a time to connect with family. This Sunday, CBS gives you another good reason to come together. God Friended Me premieres tomorrow after 60 minutes.
So now this is when Kirby will look at his offense. He was not happy with the way they could not run the ball and put the game away against Missouri a week ago. He wants to see them tie 4 or 5 first downs together to put a game out of reach for Tennessee right now.
See the numbers for Jake Fromm. No touchdown passes or interceptions, but again efficient with the football. Here on play action, trying to get out of the pocket. Going to have a holding call, I think, on top of the fact that he only got about 3 yards on the scramble.
Well, nice job that time by Shy Tuttle, number 2. Forced the hold on the play. He was the one that collapsed the pocket. We've seen
there is no foul, friends. Offensive holding. 2nd down.
Tuttle's over the center right there. Gets pushed, tries to make the play. Fromm gets out of it, but they picked up the flag.
So Jake got 3 yards out of the scramble. There was no holding call. 2nd down at 7.
Still good job getting him out of the pocket.
Nada in motion, lining up now on the left side. From looking left, and goes to Harrion, and Harrion actually caught the ball but lost a yard and a half on it. Well, these two coaches have a lot of connections. When Kirby was at Alabama, Pruitt was there, and 3-time national champions. Pruitt replaced Kirby as defensive coordinator in 16, and now the head coach. Guys, longtime friends, known each other a long time, love talking ball, as they say. And one's been very successful in his now 3rd season at Georgia. Jeremy Pruitt just getting started as a head coach in Knoxville.
Good coverage.
One hopper intended for Hardman.
Bryce Thompson, number 20, the true freshman, did a good job. Stayed right on the hip that time. Nowhere to throw the ball when you got the quarterback rolling out towards you. He's got Hardman. Hardman has been held in check. 4 catches for 43 yards. No big explosive play in this game for Hardman.
And Gary, not punting that last time paid off for him. They only used about a minute.
Yep. And I was surprised that they threw the ball on every play like that. 3 straight pass plays. I thought for sure they'd come with the run.
And the first 3 and out for Georgia today. Not a good time for it.
Beautiful punt.
And it bounces at about the 39-yard line out of bounds. With 13:34 remaining in the ball game, Tennessee hanging in there, trailing 24-6. They'd love to have that guy. Coach Dooley won a national title. So did Coach Fomer. Fran Tarkington back in the day. Great moments between these two teams. We've still got a lot of football left.
Georgia holding strong at 24-6 as we welcome you back inside Sanford Stadium. Kirby Smart told us he felt like Tennessee was getting their sea legs in terms of running the ball, and he didn't want to happen that happened to them last week against Missouri, which is allowing 172 rushing yards. This is a sign that Kirby had at practice all week long, right in your face. Don't give up 172. So I took liberties and I made my own for this week. So far today, well, actually, let me fix that. My craftsmanship isn't too good. 43 rush yards given up so far today. I don't know if Kirby's going to love that number, but it's better than 172, guys.
I don't know where you come up with the time to do all that cool stuff.
Well, you know, I got a lot of time on my hands down here. I'm not just injuries, I'm numbers.
Really, real crafty there, wasn't it?
I got to sell them on it. Coach, you want to use this?
First down for Tennessee. Play action for Garantano. Got a man wide open. And close to a first down is Dominic Wood Anderson.
Dominic Wood Anderson, the junior college transfer, highly recruited, came. He was a receiving tight end in junior college, has had to learn to be a better blocker That's the last phase for him to be completed. A really gifted athlete.
On the ground, pretty tough yardage for Tim Jordan, but it was positive yardage at the 13-minute mark. This weekend is the American Football Coaches Association's annual Coach to Cure MD initiative, an attempt to raise awareness for the Duchenne muscular dystrophy, a genetic disorder in young men. 10,000 coaches are taking part nationwide, including the guys that are here today. To learn more, go to www.coachtocuremd.org. And this is a wildcat for Jordan. Got the corner, got another first down.
Well, Justin Fields came in, I think, really helped the running attack for Georgia in this game. And you could see, you wondered, what would Tennessee do? Jamie put up the 43 yards, and Tennessee saw it and said, we got to do something different here.
Didn't like Jamie's sign.
No.
Good run by Jordan. First down, Tennessee. At the Georgia 33-yard line.
You know who can go home right now? The punter for Tennessee. He's never going to do anything in this game again.
Joe Doyle will take the rest of the day off.
Got it.
Garantano fakes a pitch. And Georgia's going to wrap him up and drop him. Julian Rochester, the nose tackle, was there. So was Tyler Clark, basically the front.
You know, I think Jared Garantano mishandled the snap and really threw off the timing on the play. He wants to get the pitch. He bobbles it right there. And then he really never had a chance to see the play. Well covered downfield. Yeah, he was a low snap. Kind of caught him by surprise. He never got back, kind of doing it exactly the way he wanted, and Georgia was not fooled on the play.
Brings up 2nd and 12. Georgia blitzing. Throw out in the flat is complete, and on the run, Ty Chandler. He's going to go. Touchdown, Tennessee. 35 yards. Garantano to Chandler.
Simple little play. Toss it out to the side. Poor angle, I think, this time to turn it in by J.R. Reed. He went too wide, too easy on the play, lost contain, and all of a sudden, you got Tennessee with an opportunity to make this a 10-point game.
Chandler's 4th catch of the day and the season. And here's the 2-point attempt for the 2nd time. Brandon Johnson in motion. Garantano over the middle. Incomplete. No flags.
Well, it was a tough decision by Jeremy Pruitt that time. Remember, if you kick the field goal, it's an 11-point game, which makes it a 2-possession game. If you make it, it's still a 2-possession game. Now it's a little different. Now you got to score touchdowns. You throw a little easy pass to the outside, not good contained by Georgia, and all of a sudden it's a touchdown against the defense.
Tonight at 7 Eastern over on CBS Sports Network, Mountain West Showdown. Defending conference champ Boise State heading to Wyoming to battle the Cowboys on the 24-hour home of CBS Sports. Carter Blackburn, Jay Feely's pinch kicking, I guess, for Aaron Taylor, and that one, and John Schriffen on the sidelines. The guys will have it for you tonight, CBS Sports Network. Paxton Brooks will kick off for Tennessee as they capped a 57-yard drive. In just 2 minutes and 24 seconds on 5 plays. The big one, a 35-yard touchdown.
And remember the last time Georgia had the ball, when I thought they'd try to take some clock and run it, they ran 3 straight passing plays, ate up none of the clock.
Nicole Hardman just gets out of the way. Georgia will come out to the 25 on offense.
Let's go back to the last 2 plays for Tennessee. Remember the kind of play where it was discombobulated and Jarrett Garantano took a big hit and landed on the turf, showing his toughness. He came back the next play, throws an easy swing pass. Dominic Wood gets a good block on the play. J.R. Reed takes the wrong angle, and all of a sudden, it becomes a 2-touchdown game. Again, think about it. If Tennessee would have kicked the extra point, it would have been a field goal. Now they need 2 touchdowns. What does Jim Chaney do now to try to take clock and make first downs? That's him right there, right next to him. Jim Chaney, last time he had it, threw the ball 3 straight passes. Can he take first downs and clock off this scoreboard?
2nd and 6. Holyfield behind Fromm. Here's the sweep. Demetrius Robertson took the first time he touched one of those 70-plus yards earlier this season.
Isaac Nada was blocking as if Robinson was going to go wide. Watch Isaac Nada right here. He thinks Nada's going to go wide. He tries to get the outside, and Robinson cuts right back into his block on the play.
Boy, this is a huge 3rd down right here.
Sure is.
Fromm was all alone in the backfield until Swift just joined him. Fromm fires complete, first down, and it's Riley Ridley.
Ridley, who caught 6 balls in the national championship game, gets matched up. Good route, and again, a really good throw. And Justin Fields, you know, we were talking about this during the break. It seemed like Georgia ran the ball best when they had the threat of the running quarterback Fields in the game. And at this point in the game, they want your running yard. That's why he's in there. Oh, mistake.
Fakes the handoff to nobody and then gets to the edge before he's run out of bounds. Nothing like faking a handoff to nobody there.
Yeah, I gotta believe Swift went the wrong way that time, because that's a play. Well, I don't know. Who knows which way it is. More looking at the offensive line, there's no doubt in my mind that the quarterback, Justin Fields, went the wrong way, and he ended up making a positive play out of it.
You talk about giving the kid experience. This is a tough spot.
They almost have to. They can't run the ball without the running quarterback in the game.
At the 9-minute mark in a 12-point game, DeAndre Swift going to be short. They'll bring up 3rd down and a couple, or at least a long one. Cortez Sapp in on the stop.
And again, right now, if you're Tennessee, you have to play the quarterback as the Wildcat tailback. Number 1, you circle the quarterback to stop the run. You deal with other stuff.
As you look behind, Justin Fields. He gives it to Swift, and Swift got some tough yardage. First down, Georgia. So just the fact that you had to worry about number 1, like Gary said,
absolutely,
made that one pay off.
That's why he's in the game. Fromm back in. Good job by Justin Fields and the coaching staff for Georgia in using their talent smartly and wisely there. I guess that's the same thing.
Sure it is.
Wisely. Sometimes you just get talking. You know?
James Cook, another freshman in the lineup now for Georgia. Last time he was in there, they threw him a little swing pass. This time they just give it to him. And Cook, good gain on the run. Ball came out at the end, but he was down. So he's in for one play. It comes back out, and Brian Herrien back in.
That was the same look. Probably an RPO play where the coach says, don't you dare run the P on it. Okay, you got no option on this one. Just do the R. You have no P and O on it.
There you get a good look at Justin Fields without the helmet. 2nd down and 6 as we approach 7 minutes. Trips to the top of the screen for Fromm, but it's Herrien on the ground, breaking tackles, and another first down run. And Brian Herrien still going.
I can guarantee you, after the game, Kirby Smart will be most proud of his team about being able to run the ball when the game got tight. When they had to run the ball, they did.
And the offensive line, give them credit. Those big dogs leading the way. And there they are as a group. Now Fields back in. Down to 6.5.
You got to play all-out run here, almost goal line defense if you're Tennessee.
And he dropped the ball.
Oh, man, did he get hit.
And it took a fortuitous bounce or he would have lost the football too.
He is so fortunate to get that ball back. This is the one where you got to lead with your head because you got no other option. Bryce Thompson laid one on him, but he is very fortunate he hung on to that football.
Ouch.
After dropping it.
And he comes out, and Jake Fromm comes back in, and he's feeling the effects of that one. That smile that you saw on his face a couple minutes ago is gone. And Fromm, the veteran, though he's only a sophomore, back in there. Harrion, big hole this time. Spins his way about a yard or two shy of the first down, but a big opening off the right side.
You know, I got to say, I'm surprised Harrion's in the game. You know, I mean, you would think that this would be Swift time, Holyfield at the least, but look at that gash right there.
You know, that's where Ben Cleveland would be blocking, but he's out with a broken leg, so give credit to
true freshman
Cade Mays.
Yep, 77, because they ran right at him.
3rd and a yard as they continue to chew up clock and real estate.
It's not like those two guys aren't massive over there, Wynn and Mays.
The spin move by Harrion, first down. Backpedaling for the first down.
Well, Paul Bain, number 97, thought he had it. And as Brad called it, it was an instinctual spin move. I got you? No, I don't. Because Bain had beat the block inside and should have had a tackle for a loss.
And on Herschel Walker Day, the tailback grouping for Georgia taking over the last 5 minutes of this game.
You got a feeling that they trust Harrion with the football. I mean, he must have earned their trust not turning it over at some part of it because they are giving him the ball to put the game away.
And he's going with it again. Harrion. And again, he broke one tackle and got 3 yards out of what could have been less. Actually got almost 5.
Right now, Jeremy Pruitt has to start using his timeouts. He's got to be able to get the ball back twice. And the crowd, first Kirby gives Harrion a high five, and the crowd gives him a cheer.
There's how they've done it by committee today on Herschel Walker Day. Not just number 34 running, but number 7, number 13, number 35 doing most of it.
Anything close to a stop here, Tennessee has to use their timeouts.
They stack up the line. A Swift on a cutback. Oh, what a move by DeAndre Swift. And he's in. Touchdown, Georgia. Second touchdown on the ground for DeAndre Swift. This one from 14 yards out.
Well, DeAndre Swift can plant his foot and cut as well as anyone. Again, to this right side. Good job by Isaiah Wilson, the right tackle. Did you see that plant? The way he plants that right foot and cuts. If he was playing flag football, the flag would still be on his belt.
And the field judge, Sean Petty, down. As we take a look from our Chick-fil-A pylon cam, what happened to him?
That's
like
an Achilles.
Yep,
it's left Achilles.
And we hate to be doctors, but we know what that looks like.
Yep.
Oof. And the cart's coming out to pick Sean up. Boy, last week we had a security guard that almost blew his knee out, and now we got a field judge down, just running from the goal line up to the middle of the pack to signal a touchdown. And
I remember Danny Marino doing that when he played his last Achilles, and he turned around as if somebody snapped like a towel against his Achilles. That's you think, what the heck? He could tell right away.
And he had the highest high tops of all time when he came back.
Yes.
3:31 remaining while we attend to our field judge here in Athens, as Georgia has just scored again to stretch their lead out and maybe kind of ice this game. Don't forget, coming up after the game, stay tuned for the CBS Sports post-game show. Adam and the guys with highlights And speaking of those guys, let's get an update right now and head to New York. Zook.
All right, Nessa, Zaxby's update here. In a story making some noise on social media in A&M's tight win over Arkansas, Jimbo Fisher comes out and grabs the face mask of his linebacker, Tyrell Dodson. Dodson had been mixing it up with some of the Arkansas players. Jimbo said after the game he was just trying to make a point to his player, not to get in a pushing and shoving match. And Dodson later went on Twitter and said that Jimbo did the right thing by calling attention to it. Guys?
Gary does that to me all the time, and nobody says anything about it.
That's right.
Let's go back and show you that last touchdown by DeAndre Swift.
Again, Isaiah Wilson, the right tackle on the play, just stays with his blocks and shifts. He's 6'7", 340 freshman. Watch him shift as the defender shifts and turn him the way he wants to go. And then that 1 foot cut by Swift. He made it famous last year. See this block down, take him the way he kind of wants to go. Watch his step. Boom. Oh, man, that's nasty.
Pretty.
Yep.
It depends on who you're talking to. It's pretty or it's really nasty if you're on the defensive side of things.
But remember the drive before. Jim Chaney, get it down there as you look at DeAndre Swift. Went 3 passes in a row. This time, with the game a little bit, okay, it's a ball game. They went 13 plays. And 12 runs, 1 pass.
Over 7.5 minutes, too.
And Justin Fields was a big part of that, too.
Well, we wish our field judge good luck on whatever rehab is coming. He knows it's coming.
And give all the credit to Justin Fields to come in there and do it. But also remember Jake Fromm hit that big 3rd down pass here to Riley that kept the drive alive.
Got the air cast already on his Achilles as they get him to the officials' locker room and to the medical facilities down in the new end zone here at Georgia, where their locker room is. It used to be they walked all the way across the field. Now they got a brand new facility down to our left. On the other end, it's Blankenship kicking the extra point to our right with 3 minutes and 31 seconds remaining in the ball game. Georgia stretches their lead. And the big guys, the big dogs celebrating. The dog pounded DeAndre Swift into the end zone. Georgia's 75-yard drive has put them in command at 31-12 with 3.5 minutes to play here in Athens. Some of the crowd has filed out, but it was right on the number when we started. 92,746 on this sunny day in Athens. Rodrigo Blankenship going to kick one into the crowd on the other end. We've talked a lot about Kirby Smart being Nick Saban's longtime defensive coach at a couple of places, and we thought we'd let you look at these quotes from a week ago, and you pick which one you think said that. They're very similar, almost exact, in fact. And then you find out that Nick said the top one, Kirby said the bottom one.
Yeah, surprise. Been together a lot, and they think a lot alike, and that 13-play drive will make Kirby happy. There's a lot of things they do not like about this football game, but that will make him happy.
And the ball's out. Georgia's got it. They say they do. Big hit on Jeremy Banks, and the ball came out. And Jawan Taylor's got the ball for the Dogs.
And I think it was number 15, DeAndre Walker, that forced the fumble on that play. And Jawan Taylor ended up with the football. And that was really funny. I had just written down on this play, what would I feel good about Tennessee if I was Tennessee?
No turnovers, right?
No turnovers in the game.
That's first one of the game.
I had it at the top of my card, and all of a sudden, throw that card away.
And
after they had 6 against Florida the week before, they took care of the ball. They hung in the game tough. They did not allow a lot of big plays in the Georgia passing game. There are some good improvements that this Tennessee team showed. But They can't run the ball well enough, and they got no big plays of their own. They cannot throw the ball deep.
And the most fumbles in the conference with 7. And now it's Fields leading the way for Holyfield. Elijah Holyfield. Another first down for Georgia.
Now, number 18 has been doing it all day, and he gets another key block, and that allowed Holyfield to set up the block and then get outside of it. Fields also, he took a hit one time, he took a hit again. All of the Georgia players, because of the competition to play, hang in the game. Jeremiah Holloman downfield blocking on that last play. Everybody hungry to stay on the field.
At the 15-yard line, Fields stays in there, gives it off. No, he's got it himself. Fields, did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Georgia.
Well, I had my eye in the secondary, but the way Brad called it, it must have been a good fake.
It was. He had me, I'll say that
That's
much.
enough. I don't know if his knee came down before the touchdown, but it was still a really good play.
It only took 2 plays after the turnover. They're going to take a look at the touchdown, I think. If it is good, it will be the second one for Justin today. As you look down the line this time.
Rolling on the field is touchdown. This play is now under video review.
It would be his, looks like his right knee if it's down before he reached it.
Well, it's tough to tell.
I can't tell from that one either.
Pylon cam from a ways away. He's still airborne there. I think it's a touchdown.
It's, you know what I think? It's close enough.
You'd be a great official.
It's close enough. Considering the score and the time left in the game, I think it's close enough.
And I think it's still a touchdown.
After video review, the ruling on the field of touchdown is confirmed.
There we go. We confirmed it.
Close enough.
Only you would put it that way.
Well, that's a new dimension for this Georgia football team, isn't it? When they're struggling to try to get that running game going, every defensive coordinator they're going to play. And remember, okay, they got Missouri next week, okay? But then they go to play LSU. Well, you know, that's the game that they better be ready to strap it up.
Justin Fields, a freshman out of Kennesaw, Georgia, in the end zone for the second time today, and it's 38-12. Tonight on CBS begins with the new drama FBI, followed by the season premiere of 48 Hours tonight, only CBS. Brad Nessler, Gary Danielson, Jamie Erdahl in Athens, where both quarterbacks for Georgia have played well today, one through the air and one on the ground.
Yeah, no matter what. And by the way, Justin Fields, just so you know, is 6'3", like almost 230.
Yeah, he's a big guy. And fair catch called for in the end zone. Will bring the ball out to the 25 for Tennessee. We talked about dual threat quarterbacks. We mentioned it earlier. And Jalen Hurts, Tua Tagovailoa both played a lot today. And here, pretty good split between Fromm and Fields. And of course, the other one, we wonder now if Kelly Bryant will return to Death Valley after Trevor Lawrence was injured today. The door has been left open by his coach.
It's not for me to judge, but if I'm Kelly Bryant and I've given my teammates, you know, 3 or 4 years, I gotta feel like they need me right now. Don't you think, like, that's going to be really interesting. Everybody's got their own future you got to think about.
Yeah.
But those are your guys.
Yeah.
You know, I think he's got to look at that and say, they need me. I'm coming back.
We'll see. It won't probably take long before we know. Keller Kristen at quarterback. Tim Jordan can't find anywhere to hide against the Georgia front, and Channing Tindall, outside linebacker, who made the stop.
Well, they're going to be able to regroup as Tennessee. You know, Keller Chris came in here to compete for the job, but I don't think he's going to beat out this man from this game. He was too tough. He showed too much what he showed the last couple of years. I've been impressed with Jared. The team's got to get better around him, in my opinion. But then they go at Auburn. Good. That's going to be a tough one. And then, of course, Alabama at home. And it's not an easy schedule. You know, and the bottom of the schedule has not gotten easier either.
No.
South Carolina and Kentucky, right?
Right.
And by the way, when we were visiting with Kirby, he said, do not sleep on Missouri.
He thought they were a lot better than people gave credit for.
He said their offensive line is very physical, and, you know, Drew Lock is a legitimate first-round draft pick. They will upset someone. He said, it's glad it wasn't me.
3rd down and 10 here. Let's see if Christ will put the ball up. Only have a minute and a half to go. And they're just going to run it here. Try to establish some toughness in a losing effort, as this series now is going to be tied all time. This was the 48th meeting. Tennessee had a 1-game advantage at 23-22, and there have been 2 ties. So Georgia will draw even. Georgia's home winning streak will go to 9 games, and you already saw that losing streak in the SEC for Tennessee will go to 11 straight.
Still want to talk about Jeremy Pruitt in Tennessee. I think he's got to look at this thing and say, I saw progress. And that's what he wants. He talked to us on the phone. He said, I want my guys to play the best they can play and get better. I'll settle for that.
Puck goes out of bounds on the far side as Terry Godwin just lets it fly over there. And around the 20 with 44 seconds left. Georgia's schedule, if you're wondering. They've got Vanderbilt next, and then at LSU and Baton Rouge, and that's not going to be easy. And then Florida after a week off.
And this is the sleeper right here for me. This Kentucky game.
I'm not sure it's a sleeper anymore.
I don't think so either, but it was a sleeper until they got better, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think most Georgia fans were going, oh, that's, I'm not even thinking about that game.
Then they had to watch Benny Snell and some of those guys.
You got it.
So this is Jake Fromm's favorite formation, most quarterbacks. Victory formation to take a knee. Georgia will go to 5-0, 3-0 in conference play, and they clear another SEC East hurdle. Unless we have a timeout, and I think we are going to. Although the clock's still running.
I don't think so. Yeah.
No. And these 2 guys, Jeremy and Kirby, know each other too well to do that. They'll meet for the hug and the handshake. The balls will drop to 2 and 3, 0 and 2 in conference play. And as I've said, Georgia, the number 2 team in the country. I don't think they're going to lose anything in their ranking. With a 38-12 win, a lot of people thought it would be more lopsided. And quite frankly, none of us agreed with that. Take a look at the GMC game changers today for Georgia. Their defense did a pretty darn good job. Tackle by committee for sure, as they made things rough on the tailbacks for Tennessee all day long. And they made it tough again on Jared Garantano with that sack and a few other hits on him during the course of the day. And then when they had to have a stop and a turnover, the first one of the day led 2 plays later to Georgia's final touchdown. After Juwan Taylor fumble recovery, Justin Fields took it in 15 yards for the score. And that was our final tally in a 38-12 game. Now it's time for the play of the game presented by Napa Auto Parts. You're not going to see too many of these. Jake Fromm back to throw. Isaac Nauta missed his block, but he didn't miss the picked up fumble that he rumbled all the way 40 yards for a touchdown. And here's how Scott Howard called it for the Georgia Bulldog Network.
3rd and 9. Here's the Dogs. Pressure coming. The ball knocked out of the hands of Fromm. Picked up by Nauta. He's running 30, 25, 20. Near sideline 15, 10, 5. Touchdown! Touchdown! Isaac Nauta picked up the trash and took it to the end zone.
Might have been trash, but it was pretty impressive when he got to the end zone. Isaac heading to the locker room. Big day for him. Big day for the Dogs as they win 38-12 on Herschel Walker Day in Athens. Not so good for Smokey, but good for the Dogs, the other Dogs, the ones in red. For Gary Danielson and Jamie Erdahl, Brad Nessler saying so long from Athens. Final score 38-12 Georgia. undefeated at 5-0 and ranked number 2 in the country. College football postgame show is up next after these messages as we say so long from Athens.